What's up, guys? Okay, so I'm gonna be giving an honest way to inflate the back tire on a GoTrax G4 scooter. Okay, so this has been about a week in the development of this. I ran over a paper clip or a hair clip like a week ago. I inflated it. Oh, it took like 6 hours to do this on my own because I looked up the video and I have put this tire back on so many times and I think it's finally good, patched and everything, but it's just a little bit uninflated, which is really frustrating. But I figured because all of the other videos I found were so unhelpful, I would just make this out of just pure annoyance. So don't even bother asking why this thing's on a table, but I have already taken off both of these. So these go like right here. So you should see this on here. But if you take these off, I think you can do it with the provided screw Allen wrench. I'm guessing that's what this is. I'm self-taught. I don't know what the name of any of these things are. But anyway, you'll expose these large nut things on both sides. And you can unscrew these with some pliers. So I don't know how they intended us to do this with the provided, I think it's or maybe it's a hex, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so I'm gonna take these off and I already have them pretty loosened because I just put this on really recently. But I'm going to take this off and I'm also going to unplug this cord, which will make the entire job exponentially easier, okay? But I'm also gonna show you how to reattach this because I don't know if that's common knowledge. Okay, so I just pulled this thing out. Take note of the arrow here, that'll be important later. And now this wheel can just be fully taken out. So this screw can only come off so much. This one, as soon as we take this one out, the entire wheel, holy crap. Okay, that was crazy. The entire scooter almost just fell off the table. But we're good. Okay, so now that we have the tire itself, we can start taking it apart because the problem is this is not accessible. I can't even unscrew the cap on that. And so there's definitely no way I can fill up the thing with air. So if you need to fix the tube, or it's flat, you have a hole or something, or you're just in a similar situation to me, definitely get some kind of multi-tool because you're gonna need a couple different sizes here. Now I've taken this apart a number of times. This is the brake pad right here. This second layer right here is the motor inside. If all of these little ones aren't perfectly screwed in, when you turn on the scooter, it'll make a beeping noise that won't go away until these are fully screwed in. So if you have that issue, make sure that this is locked in, but I don't necessarily know if we need to take all these off in order to do this outer one, which will actually separate it. So let me start unscrewing all of these. I think this is a size bigger than the provided. No, okay, it actually fits. So if you still have the Allen wrench from when they gave you the scooter, or when you bought it, I mean, it's the same size for this. So now as you can see, we were able to pull this off. This had all 6 screws on it, and now we have access to the tire itself. So we can take this out, or I've already attached, now that it's kind of more free, I can attach this little piece here. But it might be easier if we de-inflate it, because in order to attach this piece back, you can't have the tire fully inflated. So now that this piece is a little bit more accessible, we're just gonna take a little screw that we just had here, de-inflate the tire somewhat. Okay, that's pretty good. And now it's much easier to get this piece back on. So assuming you've made all your tire repairs, fix the tube, hopefully, fingers crossed, now you can put this piece back on. Don't inflate it that much or else you won't be able to put this piece back on. But make sure you can still attach to this because you don't want to screw the entire thing back on and then find out, like I am, that it's not fitting. So let me make some adjustments with the tube until I can attach these two again. Now we have managed to put this back on somewhat. We only put in 2 screws, but we now have full access to this, which is what we really wanted. So in case you're wondering, this gets really hard to access as soon as you ride the tire, or if you inflate it too much. I don't know, it sinks further deep. So that's why we had to take it off in the first place. But we can actually use this instead. This is just a hand pump, and hopefully we can get this up to 40 something PSI. I think it's 46 maybe, or oh, maybe it's 42. The tire itself says 36, but the website says 42. I don't even have a way to measure this on my own, so I'm just gonna be comparing it by how much you can squeeze it compared to that tire. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump this up, and I'll meet you back here. All right, just by feeling this, it seems pretty tight, this is about a similar tightness to the other one, so I'm hoping this is good. Didn't pop, so it seems okay here. I mean, you can see how much give this is. It pushes in a little bit compared to this one, which also can barely, if anything, I feel like this one's more. So we definitely didn't overinflate this, but if it pops in the next 30 minutes, I guess we'll know. So now I'm gonna finish reattaching these 6 screws we put in, and then we can begin putting the tire back on. So, okay, once you have all 6 screws back in place, hopefully you have a full tire. I would definitely maybe ride this once or something, or let this sit for a while, because one time I filled this up, rode it for 2 miles, and then got stranded because it deflated somehow in those 2 miles, and I didn't notice until I got off it. So anyway, don't do that. But I'm going to show you how to put it back together, and I'm gonna take these washers off in case you did that and you can't figure out how to put it back on. So we have one nut here, we have a washer of some sort, and then on this side we have the washer and nut that can't really come off at all because of this wire here. So let's go ahead and put this thing back on, and you want to make sure that you have it facing the right way. So brake pad on the brake side, wire side on the wire side. And because the wire is so short, you want to make sure that you have it so that the wire is facing into how you're going to put it on. Okay, so I somehow managed to put this back together while it's still on the table, and it even didn't fall over. But as you can see, you put this washer on the side so that the thick side is coming out like this, and the washer is on the other side. So I still haven't put the nut on this side, but as you can see, I've hand tightened it on this. You've got the washer with the thick side pointing down on this side, and then you've got the screw on this side. This is still unplugged. We'll take care of that later. I'm gonna screw in this. Make sure that this is all the way up before you do it. Okay, now that we have done that, it might be easier to put it on the ground because that'll push the screws to the top. You should be able to freely turn the wheel just like this, and it should stay on. I still haven't fully tightened it. I'm gonna tighten it with my pliers soon. And Lord willing, if you didn't change the brake, as you can see, it's still perfectly in the middle. So I'm gonna make a video about how to fix the brakes in case it's rubbing up against it, or if you just messed it up, because I definitely did that. And I'm gonna tighten these, but hopefully, the big part is this brake pad, because if this is rubbing, it's just gonna ruin your entire experience. And it's gonna slow down your vehicle, it's gonna burn the brake pads. You don't want any of that to happen. So, but anyway, let me reattach this. We're gonna reattach the wire, and then we're gonna be all good to go. It connects to this little piece in here, which is just ever so conveniently short enough that you can't really pull it out on your own. And even if I could, I'm still gonna show you how to fix it, because I spent so long trying to line this thing up in this tiny little dark crevice, and it just took so long, and I wish I had known how easy it was to fix. So really all you need is a ordinary Phillips head screwdriver, and you can take off these 2 screws here and the 2 on the other side, and you have access to all of the wires pretty much in the entire system. All right, once you've managed to take out the 2 screws on this side, 2 screws on the other side, turn this wheel. It's just as easy as sliding this out. Don't force it out, because it actually does have to slide. It has a little rail. And take it off. And as you can see, you have all the wires. So I think you have access to the ones in here coming from the top of the scooter. And then you have, this is the big one. I believe this is the tail light here, which looks like is connected to the brake. I don't know how it's connected exactly, but this big beefy one is what we want because it connects down here. So I'm gonna push this through just a little bit. And as you can see, that arrow conveniently matches up with the arrow I mentioned earlier. So you just put them together. I need 2 hands to do this, but you push them in together so that the arrows are facing each other, and it should work perfectly. All right, there we go, folks. Okay, as you can see, it's pushed up against it as much as you can do. As you can see, the arrows are pretty much, this little line is perfectly flush. And if we turn this on, it shouldn't have any beeping noise. So let me put in my code. And it has no noise. So if these are disconnected, I believe it makes a beeping noise until it's fixed. So if you turn it on and it's making a beeping noise, double check, 1, that this wire is perfectly attached, and 2, that all these screws are completely screwed in, or else the beeping just signifies it's not connected to the motor somehow, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna put all this back together. We just need to screw this in and then screw in both of these sides, and it seems like we're gonna be done.